everybody, Heather from New Zealand here. Today we're looking at a habit that is really quite a powerful one for changing how you see the world and in making your world a happier place to live in. So keep watching because this habit is very powerful. Habits really do shape our world. Negative habits, as we all know, lead us to somewhere we don't want to go and we can very quickly be caught in a negative spiral. Then there's those neutral habits, those habits where we're really just treading water in our lives. We're not going anywhere, we're just keeping things the way they are. Then there's helpful habits. Now these habits are the ones that we want to focus on. They're the ones that get us where we want to go. Those are the ones that can help us reach our goals, have a happier life, be healthier, in every way be more positive. So if you're interested in finding out about habits that might be helpful to you and how to create those habits one tiny step at a time, please consider subscribing to this channel and pushing the bell, because I've filled this channel with ideas that have really worked in real time in my life, and the hope that other people may find that useful. So what I want to talk to you today about is gratitude. Having a grateful attitude. Now I've realised that there's actually two forms of gratitude and I want to talk about each of them separately, so please keep watching to the end, because I think that second form of gratitude is actually the one that can make the biggest difference to our world and our attitude and our happiness levels. So the first form of gratitude is when we are grateful towards somebody else. When somebody does something for us and we express thanks, we're thankful to them. That is a habit. It can be very easy to take other people for granted, especially those closer to you. It can be very easy to have an attitude of expectation. But instead, if your habit is to be grateful, then you're building relationships and connections in a positive way. And it doesn't need to be just the big things. In fact, all the little things make a bigger difference in the end. Now, if somebody buys you a present, for example, I mean, that's a no-brainer. Of course, you say thank you to them for that present. They took that time and that energy to buy that for you. And give it to you. It was a thoughtful action. And no matter what the present was, even if it wasn't even something that you particularly expected or particularly liked, it's still good to be thankful for the energy that they've put into that gift. Now, when we are thankful for somebody, that builds our relationship. So being grateful to others has an automatic payoff of building a more connected, loving and positive relationship with everybody around us, especially those in our inner circle, in our family. I mean, for example, my husband brought me a cup of tea in bed, unasked, and he does it quite regularly. And I always am so thankful inside that he has taken that thought to think of me and do a little thing. And when the kids do something, I always make an effort to thank them for that. Again, it's an important dynamic within a loving family to have gratitude and love for each other. So that's kind of that level of gratitude I kind of see as an obvious one. The second level of gratitude has more to do with your inner world. How you see the world, how you habitually see the world. Nowadays, things are outside and in the community at large, and online and on television and the movies. There is a lot of cynicism and negative ways of thinking about things, and it's very easy to take those on when you're being shown those day after day. And you have to make an effort to maintain an attitude of gratitude today, in today's world. And by that I mean saying thank you. Saying thank you for everything that you have, and noticing what you have. The most significant time in my life, and a very difficult time in my life, it was actually gratitude and being thankful that got me through. That actually saved my sanity, and I can quite honestly say that it saved my sanity. Counting our blessings is a teaching from the Bible, both the Old Testament and the New Testament, and I'll pop on the screen some of the verses if you want to look that up. And I'm sure that other religions as well also have teachings about this. I don't know what those might be, but I would imagine that they're along a similar vein, that we should count our blessings, that we should focus on the good things that we have in life, and that should become an inner way of thinking and being. I got through a very, very difficult time in my life when my mother was being treated for leukemia. She was having aggressive chemotherapy, and I was having a huge problem with my mental health, dealing with what was happening, that my mother was potentially dying of cancer, that she was having this horrific treatment, that I was running a family and had a job at the bank at the time, and holding that all together. And I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to face it. And it was gratitude that got me through. I remember one time it was a 3-hour drive for me to get from my home to the hospital where my mother was being treated. And my sister and I were running shifts, so my mother had as little time as possible by herself to face this, and we were supporting her. So I would have to do a 3-hour drive there and a 3-hour drive back. And a lot of that time was spent in a turmoil, trying to come to terms with what life had done, what turn had happened. And there was one point where I thought, I just can't do this. I don't know how to do this, and I just can't do it. And I got a very clear message: say thank you. And I was like, what? Say thank you for what? My mother is in a hospital, potentially dying. What have I got to be thankful for? And then I was driving down the road, and I looked out and I saw a field, and it was a bright yellow field. I don't know what crop it was, and I just got clearly, say thank you for the field. So I said inside myself, thank you for that beautiful field. Then I noticed something else. I noticed the car. I said, thank you that I've got this car that I can drive to support my mother through this difficult time. Then I said, thank you for the people who've supported me and who are giving me money to pay for petrol to put in the car. Thank you for that beautiful house I've just seen and driven past. I was on a roll. I just kept saying thank you. Thank you for, and then I filled in the blank, whatever I saw. And the more I said thank you, the more I was able to see. Literally, my eyes were being opened by gratitude to the many, many blessings that I did have, even in this time of torment. Now, that particular trip, I had already driven for an hour before I saw that first field, and I had another 2 hours driving of saying thank you. Thank you for that road sign that's showing me the way. Thank you that I'm fit and well enough to go into the chemo ward today. Thank you that my children are being looked after at home. Thank you that my work is being flexible. Thank you for those flowers that those people planted in their garden that I've just seen that made me smile. It was the tiniest little thing. Now, because I was going through a difficult time, I kept running out of steam and I couldn't find anything to be thankful for. So I would just say, thank you for. And sometimes it was, thank you for that breath. It sounds kind of silly, but I must tell you, it turned my world around. And now when I have a difficult time, I always return to that thank you for practice. And you don't have to be in turmoil. You don't have to have a family member dying. It can become an everyday habit. Look around you where you are right now. Maybe even pause this video and look for 5 things in your surroundings that you could be grateful for. Maybe it's the electricity and the lights. Maybe it's the fact you've got a friend you're going to see later in the day. Maybe it's the fact you've got fruit in the fridge. I don't know. Just let your mind keep saying to yourself, thank you for, and let your mind fill in those blanks. Making that a habit changes the world. Literally, it changes the world because you notice the many blessings you have. You take your mind off the things that are negative and hard to deal with, because we all have those. Everybody has those. And it's sometimes in life it's harder, sometimes in life it's easier, but we're always struggling with difficulties. If you can develop this habit of daily saying thank you for things, I think you'll find that your world starts blossoming with blessings that were always there that you just hadn't noticed. So, how can we make gratitude a habit? How we can support ourselves to thinking, oh, that's a really good idea, I agree with that, to, okay, that's actually happening in my life on a regular basis. I've got a couple of ideas for you. One is maybe attach being grateful to certain activities. I mean, one of the examples that I gave was when I was driving in a car. Okay, maybe when you're driving in the car, you could think, okay, I'm going to have some time of saying thank you while I'm driving in the car. Make that a habit. Maybe you could attach it to a meal time. Maybe you could have, as part of your family's new routine, you could have, okay, what were you thankful for today? What did you appreciate today? Who were you able to say thank you for something that they did today? And again, attaching it to a meal time makes it easier to prompt yourself and remind yourself to do it. There's another idea that Oprah Winfrey used to champion on her TV program, and that was having a gratitude journal. I've done that on and off over the years, and that can be very helpful, but again, it's attaching it to a time. I think her recommendation was, at the end of every day, write what you're grateful for at the end of the day. That's a really good habit to get going and get into place. With the gratitude journal idea, when my children were little, I had a lot of fun. I bought them little gratitude journals, and as part of their going to bed and being tucked in, I would write out for them. This is well before they could write for themselves. I would write out for them 5 things that they were grateful for the day, and we had a little notebook that they kept, and that was theirs. And that was a wonderful thing to do. If you've got children, I would really recommend that's a great way to bring the practice of gratitude into their lives and to your life as well. And I still have those books today, and they're treasures. It's still, they enjoyed playing with their teddy in the garden, or other little things that are easy to forget as they grow older and the years pass. So yeah, teach your children how to be grateful. It's an important habit that can really, really be helpful. One other thing that can be really good is to do it in anticipation. Maybe when you wake up in the morning, you could think of things that you're looking forward to for the day. You could say, thank you that I've got this meeting to go to, or thank you that I'm going to meet this friend, or thank you that the weather is nice today, or thank you that it's raining and watering the garden for me. Maybe wake up in the morning and think of 5 things you can say thank you for in anticipation in the morning. And I mean, if you really wanted to, you could do the morning and the evening. It's up to you, finding something that works for you. But the more you can bring this into your daily life, the better. Make it a habit, being grateful. I would love to hear what you're grateful for. You've heard a lot of things in this video what I've been grateful for, and in the comments when I upload this video, I'm going to put 5 things that I'm grateful for today. So I would love to hear your 5 things, what you are grateful for in anticipation, or maybe something that happened today. Let's share our gratitude. Let's encourage each other to be grateful. And I'd just like to finish off by saying thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe if you'd like some more helpful habits. Okay, bye from New Zealand.